Dear Santa, I've been ever so good this year. All I want for Christmas is a perfect, drama-free, fairy tale wedding for Debbie Webster. Is that really too much to ask? On Coronation Street. The answer is always yes. After months of watching Debbie battle the quiet devastation of young-onset dementia, fans have been willing her toward happiness with a near-religious intensity. Surely, they plead, the Queen of the Cobbles has earned a moment of peace. Surely she deserves to marry the man who loves her, Ronnie Bailey, and finally claim a happily ever after that isn't snatched away at the last moment. Even Sue Devaney, who has played Debbie with raw vulnerability, believes this love is different. I don't think she's ever known true love until now, Sue explains. When Ronnie tells her, I'm not going anywhere. You might be poorly, you might have dementia, but I'm sticking by your side, Debbie hears certainty. She hears safety. She believes this is real love. And she believes it, because she needs to. But on the Cobbles, love never travels alone. It brings baggage, and Debbie's comes in the form of two brothers who can barely stand to look at each other, Kevin and Carl Webster. Their feud is old, bitter, and poisoned. By betrayal. Ever since Carl's affair with Kevin's wife Abby came to light, the Webster family has been splintered into sides that refuse to heal. Between managing her diagnosis and trying to keep the peace, Debbie finds herself planning a wedding atop a minefield of secrets, resentments, and unresolved rage. Still, she wants the spectacle. She wants everything, Sue reveals with a laugh. Flowers, flamingos, peacocks. Big hair, a huge dress, the works. No expense spared. Because deep down, Debbie feels this might be the last massive party she ever throws. What Debbie can't buy, however, is a better brother. Kevin flatly refuses to be in the same room as Carl. The affair with Abby is not, in Kevin's mind, a mistake, it's a moral infection that never healed. Yet, when Carl and Abby manage to secure Debbie a wedding venue at the last minute, Debbie extends an olive branch and invites them anyway. Kevin's response is swift and brutal. He won't attend. For Debbie, that is unbearable. All she wants is her family together, Sue explains. She's in absolute crisis over it. Planning a wedding is stressful enough, doing it while living with dementia is something else entirely. Thankfully, Debbie's girl squad refuses to let her fall apart. Sally Metcalf ushers her into number 4 for a pre-wedding pamper party, where Glenda Shuttleworth, Bernie Winter, Christina Boyd, and others rally around her like a protective shield. Face masks are applied with reckless enthusiasm, gin is poured into teacups as if it were medicinal, and for a brief moment, Debbie is a queen held aloft on velvet cushions. But weddings are social experiments. You mix volatile ingredients and wait. Sally, armed with good intentions and a well-documented tendency to meddle, decides to confront Kevin at the garage. She pushes, cajoles, lectures, and against all odds, Kevin wavers. For a heartbeat, reconciliation seems possible. Perhaps they can bury the hatchet for just one day. Just long enough for Debbie to walk down the aisle with her family intact. Debbie clings to that hope. She wants one photograph where everyone is smiling. One frozen image of harmony. But Carl Webster is not a man whose past stays buried. He is a catalogue of bad decisions, the hit and run that nearly killed Tyrone, affairs disguised as weakness, charm deployed like a weapon. Debbie's blind spot for Carl is painful to watch. She wants forgiveness to be simple. She wants love to smooth everything over. Love is blind, Sue admits. And Debbie wants it to be. The wedding night arrives in a blaze of fairy lights and feathers. The marquee glitters. Debbie shimmers in a dress that costs more than Ronnie's first car. Extravagant, dramatic, unmistakably her. Kevin steadies her with a quiet hand. Ronnie brushes a stray hair from her face with a tenderness that makes her heart stutter. They travel in convoy. To the registry office. Family in one car, guests in a minibus, singing off-key, seat belts checked twice. It feels wholesome, safe. Scripted. For happiness. They never arrive. A sleet slick road, a lorry emerging from the dark. Screeching tires, twisting metal. The minibus overturns, and the world fractures into glass, smoke, and sirens. Debbie wakes in a hospital bed, the universe reduced to white tiles and pain. Voices drift in and out. Ronnie, Kevin, Sally, paramedics who smell of antiseptic and petrol. Survival arrives slowly, in fragments. And then something changes. In the pocket of a cardigan she doesn't remember wearing, a nurse finds a small brown envelope. Inside, a photograph of a young woman with Debbie's eyes holding a child, a lock of hair. Legal documents stamped with a solicitor's seal. One word scrawled on the back of the photo, Lola. The name lands with an ache Debbie can't place. Recognition without context. A memory that refuses to fully form. Hours later, in the waiting area, a woman enters with an identical envelope. Her face mirrors Debbie's, older, resolute, sharpened by purpose. Debbie, she says, and something inside Debbie loosens. Lola is not a ghost. She is Debbie's daughter, placed for adoption decades earlier after a violent chapter. Debbie fled to survive. Lola has come with answers, and evidence. Money from a legal settlement meant for Debbie was siphoned away. Trust documents altered. Adoption files deliberately misfiled. The trail leads uncomfortably close to home. Carl says he didn't know. He says he wouldn't. His hands shake around a paper cup as Kevin demands the truth. And in the days that follow, the truth spills out in ugly increments. Carl had access. Carl benefited. Carl used Debbie's name, first for sympathy, then for profit. Debbie's wedding becomes a reckoning. The registry postpones. The photos are never taken. Instead, the Websters sit in small rooms and tell the truth in turns. Ronnie never leaves Debbie's side. When Trust is questioned, he reaches for her hand and holds it. Lola, gently, tells Debbie not to hate the woman she once was. You survived, she says. But you deserve the rest. For Debbie, the betrayal cuts deeper than money. It is the theft of a chapter of her life. A child removed. A future rewritten, without consent. And the realization that while she was building something solid, someone else was quietly dismantling it. The truth refuses to be smoothed over with ribbons this time. Debbie Webster may not have had her fairy tale wedding, but she has something rarer: clarity, courage, and a love that stays when everything else falls apart. And on Coronation Street, that might just be the most powerful ending of all.